This film is sponsored by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of NFL Team Highlight Films. New York Life, the company you keep.
For the Giants, 1992 was a puzzling and painful season.
Quick handoff. Here comes Hampton. Stutter steps at the line. Has trouble. Gets across the 10. He'll score!
Puzzling because half of their 6 victories came against very good teams. They included wins over the Packers and the playoff-bound Washington Redskins and Kansas City Chiefs. But it was also a painful year because more often than not, the Giants came up short. For the first time in nearly 10 years, they lost 10 games. Indeed, if one day summed up the frustration of 1992, it was a key mid-season contest against Green Bay. The Giants stood at 4-4 and were a victory away from a winning record and possible playoff contention. In a tough game against one of the league's most improved teams, the Giants prevailed. And with their 3rd straight victory, the Giants appeared to be on the right course.
Sharp is the wide out on the right. They're looking to Sharp. He throws. Intercepted. Thompson might score. He's only got Favre to beat. Favre slows him down. He gets to 20. He's going to score.
And give that man a cigar for that play, Renee Thompson.
But on that day against Green Bay, the Giants won a battle, but lost a war.
You got to worry when you see him in pain because he can take more than any man this team's had in a long time.
The guy is incredible. I've seen him play with...
For the first time ever, Lawrence Taylor suffered a possible career-ending injury. He did not return in 1992. Neither did the Giants. By season's end, changes were in store. And when they came in a bunch. A new era of free agency led to the departure of dependable veterans like quarterback Jeff Hostetler, wide receiver Mark Ingram, and special teams ace Renee Thompson. In return, the Giants filled some vital needs. The position of inside linebacker was strengthened by the signing of former Buffalo Bill Carlton Bailey. The passing game was greatly improved with the addition of wide receiver Mike Sherrard and Mark Jackson. But the biggest change came at the top. Ray Hanley has departed. In his place is Dan Reeves, the veteran NFL coach who now faces a whole new challenge.
He's a proven coach. He's an innovator. He's probably gotten as much out of his talent as any coach in the league, and most of the other coaches in the league who coach against him feel that way. I think that our players will have a lot more confidence in him because he has a background, he has a record, he's got 117 wins, he's been in many championship games, he's been to the Super Bowl, he hasn't won the prize, he wants the prize, and I think he'll pay the price to do it.
You know, the one thing that happens in the National Football League is there are an awful lot of changes. I'm just fortunate enough to be able to get another job and be able to get a job with a team that has the tradition that the Giants do.
Dan Reeves knows all about Giant tradition. Indeed, he actually played an indirect role on Big Blue's biggest day.
Certainly when we were playing the New York Giants and I walked out at halftime and we had the lead and I hear this song, New York, New York, it wasn't a very pretty song. It's amazing now how pretty that song is.
There are few coaches more qualified than Dan Reeves, a man who has known nothing but success at all levels in the NFL. As a Dallas running back, he earned a Super Bowl ring and carved out an 8-year career that relied more on heart than talent. He won another ring as a Cowboy assistant before becoming a candidate for the Giants' head coaching job in 1979.
We'll trap this guy way over here.
The most important things about Danny Reeves, his pedigree is excellent. He had success as a player in college. He had success as a player with the Cowboys. I interviewed him when he was 35 years old. I knew that he was going to be an excellent coach and told him that. We went in a different direction for a different reason. It seems strange that here, again, I'm going to get an opportunity to have him, or would get the opportunity to have him again.
What the Giants have in Dan Reeves is an intense competitor whose emotions are fueled by one passion.
The joy of winning is something I think makes you do this job every day. It's accepting a job when you really wasn't sure that you wanted to get back at coach at this time. It's the joy of winning. And I've been on the other side of that. The agony of defeat is something that's terrible to have to deal with. But I enjoy both of those opportunities that you have. The fear of defeat and the joy of victory. I like both of those.
In hopes of winning a championship with the Giants, Dan Reeves moved fast in making his toughest decision. With an eye towards the future and the development of youngsters Kent Graham and Dave Brown, Reeves gave the starting quarterback job back to Phil Simms.
I felt like I needed to make a decision that I felt was best for the New York Giants, not only for now, but also for the future. I felt like his experience could help the young guys.
It's 50-50. More fingertips.
As far as bringing both Ken and Dave along.
Well, that's pretty nice.
He enjoys working with those guys. He watches a lot of film with them. He gets them prepared. And so I thought that was a good working situation. And then just from a leadership standpoint, I thought maybe Phil had a little bit better qualities there as far as leadership was concerned, because he was a guy that was never going to ask somebody to do something that he wasn't willing to do. So when I took all the things into consideration, I just felt like the best move for the New York Giants was for Phil Simms to be the quarterback.
Yes, indeed, it's now Professor Simms. And he has eager students like Graham, the 8th-round pick who showed promise, and Brown, the supplemental #1 choice, whose cost is something the Giants gambled on.
In this situation, we felt that we got the guy that we wanted. And when you go looking into the draft, we had two teams drafting in front of us, New Orleans and Tampa, who have unsettled quarterback situations. I don't know how Dave Brown would have gotten to us. So I was very happy. Not that we're cocky about any decisions that we made, but we only felt that there were about 3 quarterbacks in the draft, and if we had an opportunity to get ours the year ahead of time, be able to work with him, he wouldn't be a holdout coming into this year, that we'd be ahead of the game. And so far, we're ahead of the game. Now it's up to Dave.
Dave Brown and Kent Graham will be learning from the man who holds virtually every passing record in Giant history.
After directly behind Simms, Bunch to his left. They send Derek in motion. Simms going to pass. Does. He's got Bunch for a touchdown.
Oddly enough, Simms, entering his 15th season, will be playing in a new offensive scheme that will require his talents more than ever before.
We just feel like that with the talent that's here right now, that we feel like that we need to open it up some. It's very difficult in the National Football League to be able to go out and score 21, 24, 27 points in a game without getting some big plays. It's almost impossible to methodically take the ball down the field and score over maybe 1 drive per game. And so we feel like that we need some big plays.
To help open their passing game, the Giants have added 2 deep threats to complement number 85, Stephen Baker. The well-schooled Mike Sherrard comes in from San Francisco, while Mark Jackson rejoins his old coach, bringing with him a dazzling variety of skills. But the Giants are not without homegrown wide receiver talent. Consider number 81, Ed McCaffrey, this second-year standout from Stanford. In 1992, McCaffrey emerged as the Giants' go-to man, a sure-handed wideout whose toughness perfectly complements his athletic grace.
A big rush. He throws while he's in trouble. Throws it deep. Touchdown, McCaffrey! Shotgun. Hostetler has the ball. Throws. Complete. McCaffrey dives over the pylon. No sign. Touchdown. Hostetler looks right. Floats one right for McCaffrey. Touchdown if he holds it. Yes. He's got it.
With changes and improvements in their offense, look for Ed McCaffrey to continue to challenge defenses in 1993. The chant is defense. For various reasons in 1992, this traditional Giant Stadium roar was more often a faint echo.
If we're going to be successful, you know, the Giant defense is going to have to come back and play the way it's been playing in the past for us to have any type of success and have a chance to make it in the playoff.
It's not that the Giants' defense lacks talent. They have experience and youth, and defense was a priority in the 1993 draft. It might be that a change in philosophy will be the very thing to get this unit back to its usual preeminence.
I think we'll move out of some of the so-called read and react, which is a good scheme. It's good for the players that have played in the past that have made it successful. I don't know that that's the scheme that fits our players that well. I think the so-called attack first and react second is more fitting for what we have here now and really more of the movement that's taking place in the NFL as far as defenses.
A lack of consistent defensive attack hurt the Giants in many ways in 1992. Their sack total was the lowest in years. Consequently, so was the number of turnovers forced. Hopefully, a new attacking scheme and a better pass rush will mean more interceptions. In 1992, the Giants' interception leader was number 47, Greg Jackson. Jackson picked off 4 passes, was second on the team in tackles, and in the best tradition of Giant defense, he dished out his share of hits. However, no discussion of the current Giant defense can ignore the future status of Lawrence Taylor. For the first time ever, the legendary LT is coming back from a crippling injury. And just how well he can do that will affect just how well the Giant defense will play in 1993.
If Lawrence comes back full and can do the things that he started to do last year right before he got hurt, which we're hoping for to some extent, then we'll utilize what Lawrence does best. I mean, he can rush the passer and he can really be an aggressive attack player, and we'll utilize those things and we'll base some things when he's in there around exactly that.
No comeback from injury is ever assured. Lawrence Taylor knows that. Indeed, it is the greatest Giant of all who faces the most monumental challenge in 1993. There is one area on the Giants that needs little changing. That's the ground game. Behind one of the league's biggest and best lines is a running attack that ranks among the NFL's deepest and talented. The Giants can wear you down in many ways. When they are not beating you with Rodney Hampton, they are bludgeoning you with Gerard Bunch. And just when you think that muscle is all you need to stop them, in comes David Meggett, the multi-dimensional back who frustrates defenses the way he does special teams.
Here comes the kickoff. High in the air. Good hang. Giants are going to run the ball. It comes to Meggett inside the 10. He splats right to the 15. Gets to the 20-yard line, 25. Cuts back to his left side. Gets to the 30-yard line. Gets to the 35. He's got the 40. He's got one more shot at the 50-yard line. Still on his feet. He's at the 30. He's going to get the 20. He will score. Touchdown.
While Meggett has been a hit from day one, it took Gerard Bunch a year to get on track, but the wait was worth it. At 6'2", 250 pounds, Bunch is a battering ram with sprinter's speed. Bunch averaged nearly 5 yards on 104 carries, and might well be the featured back on any other team had it not been for the continuing development of number 27, Rodney Hampton.
30-yard line. Back goes Hostetler on the draw. Hampton finds a way through. 45, 50, 45, 40, one man, 30, 25, 30, down he goes to 5, touchdown!
For the second year in a row, Hampton rushed for over 1,000 yards, and his first ever Pro Bowl berth had as much to do with his ability as a runner as his talent as a receiver. Hampton racked up 1,300 total yards, scored a team-high 14 touchdowns, and displayed the kind of distinctive natural ability that only the great ones possess.
Giants are really threatening. Sims turns around, finds Hampton to the goal line. Throws, touchdown. Goes in motion behind the line to the left. Handoff, Hampton through right tackle near the 5. He might score. Touchdown! 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 Cross. Hampton gets the call. Touchdown! And Hampton, touchdown! And Hampton at the goal line. Touchdown!
That away. Giants got on the board on a nice...
Rodney Hampton needs little to do to improve his game. Hopefully in 1993, he will continue the challenge of being one of the game's very best.
All right, big bunch. It's going to happen today, baby.
On a cold day in late December 1992, the Kansas City Chiefs came to town. The Chiefs, locked in the divisional race, needed the game desperately. The Giants simply needed a reaffirmation of pride. On that cold December day, they got it.
2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line with the Giants. Big opportunity. They need something here. Handoff, Hampton through the line. He's got it. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown!
It was a total team effort. The defense played with force, flair, opportunity, and tenacity. The offense never let up, scoring a season-high 35 points.
Ingram split out wide to the left side. Hampton the deep back. Hampton gets the ball. Hampton scores! Hostetler to Hampton. Hampton, touchdown! Hostetler has the ball. Hostetler looking, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Callaway, falling down.
It was this game, among others, that gives Dan Reeves hope that in 1993, the Giants can once again compete with the league's best.
You know, I think we have the opportunity to be back at a competitive level because I think the nucleus of a good football team is here. When you look at last year's film, there were a lot of times that they played awful well. The consistency was not there. Whether that was because of the injuries and the lack of depth, I'm not sure. But I do think that the nucleus of a good football team is still there. What we have to do is to try to add to it, whether it be through free agency, whether it be through the draft, or whether it's through the college free agent market. We've got to do a job in each one of those areas, have a good off-season program, go to training camp with the right frame of mind, have a good training camp, do well during the preseason to try to build the confidence level to where it should be, and then I think we have a chance of being there. You have to be fortunate in the National Football League as far as injuries are concerned, so if we can stay healthy, I think this team can come back and be competitive in the first year. This is the biggest one we played so far. We won it because we played as a team. Everybody did a hell of a job. Therefore, I'm going to take the easy way out. Everybody gets a game.
We dominated for 30 minutes. We got to go hard this second half. Don't give them a chance to get back in it. Let's go.
They have a players' coach whose players have always responded. They have installed a new offense that promises to be exciting. They have experience and youth with a crafty, gutsy quarterback and some of the game's most gifted athletes. They have a legend on defense looking to return his team to glory, and a core of young, talented players who are hungry for that very thing. In the wake of a disappointing season in 1992, the Giants have made a considerable number of changes. Now, the challenge is for them to make those changes pay off with a championship contending team.